Hey, it's Random Code here, and today I'm going to showcase the full flow of cleverdash.ai as it is now more or less fully, at least the base functionality, working. And I'm then going to showcase what we can do, and I will then hope and ask if any of you guys out there find this interesting to actually go yourself and sign up and try it. Both to get some feedback, but also because I'm using it as a baseline for my master thesis. So I need to get some users actually through the process to kind of be able to do some research on human AI collaboration behaviors. But today I'm just going to showcase the full flow. So I'm actually just first going to create a new account, and I'll be using old mail I'm also using for this YouTube channel actually. We will then create a user following the basic password security principles, accept term and services, and when then creating an account, what you should also see is that we will also get an email that allows you to approve that it is connected, which is then also going to allow you to update reset password if you forget them. So just quickly to showcase, here inside Gmail, I got this verification, and I could then verify my email, and then get to this magical like, yay, it's verified. And we would then be able to update our subscriptions or change passwords, but it's not going to matter too much in this case. But otherwise, just a quick overview of what we have. We have a dashboard management page where we can create new dashboards. We can see our profile page where we can then see our basic capabilities. And again, as mentioned, because I'm also doing this as like a user study for my master thesis, you have a very low basic free usage. So you can create one dashboard and you can create 3 monthly new dashboards. One dashboard active at a time, create 3. But if you then go into profile and then reactivate or activate your subscription and you allow us to lock your information and use it for research, you will then be able to have 4 active dashboards and 30 dashboard generations. So here I'm just going to consent to those. And we'll then see that we suddenly have a lot more room to actually upload and play with this tool. But so now then just quickly go through the system. What we then actually do is we go into dashboard management. We would have some kind of data source. Let's say I want to look at some sales data, or actually this is just going to be a test. You can then either upload some data on your own, but also, especially for this test phase, if you don't have any data and you just want to try it out, you can also just go in here and click on the use test data set, and it will then simply just take a data set that I have pre-chosen to kind of be able to use the system. And you can view the source. It's a data set from Kaggle with some sale data, and it's like open domain data set, so it's free to use for whatever you want. But to then quickly go through the process, we then have these multiple steps of cleaning, column imports, insights, and review and submit. And what is very much the fancy thing about this to some extent is that also you can do all these like manual things, but all of these steps also have a get AI suggestion step where you can get help, for example, with the cleaning if you're not an expert. And you can then look at what AI suggests. For example, in my case, it suggests to remove these columns. And when we then remove these columns, we actually have no more data that have anything missing. So it would just suggest remove everything missing. There's going to be no missing, so everything just looks good. I would then remove a few more, saying like auto number might not be interesting. Some other things, let's remove a bit more. Country might actually be interesting. That was removed by kind of accident. Customer name might be interesting. And you can then also hover these dots to see why they were removed. So for example, coastal code were removed because it had missing data of 2.69%. State were missing, or something like contact last name were removed because the AI found it unimportant. So we have these different like situations. And I'm going to be doing shorter videos showcasing like all of these features, going a bit more into explaining what all of these different like cleaning strategies are. But for now, I would just go with this. I will then continue. We can then classify the importance of our columns. And we can then also add and modify it a bit. Again, I'm not going to go too much into detail in this video, but in general, the main thing is that we can classify which columns are important, timestamps, or should be ignored. And again, the same pattern is that we can then have AI kind of help us to find and classify the columns. We could then kind of review the AI suggestions and then use them or change them. And in the end, we can then also apply insights. So we could then kind of ask for something. So maybe like show sales over territory over time, and also there's like auto suggestions based on the column names. So as soon as I go T, it suggests something, and I could then tap to just use that suggestion. But let's actually just kind of enforce it to do be over order date. Add these contexts, and we can also click them down here and have AI kind of like generate based on our previous classifications, help us generate some insights. We can then review it, see everything we have here, and we can then simply just generate a dashboard. And if we then just give it a few seconds, we should see that it will load a dashboard, and then depending on how much metadata we actually provided, it will take plus minus a few seconds. But now we then have a dashboard, and as you can see, some of it is still a bit work in progress in the sense that it might not, like this, it's looking a bit janky as there's too many dimensions, but we got what we asked for. And we will then be able to see all our data. We then have it for like the different categories. There's some groupings of data and yeah, a bunch of different stuff. And of course, here at last, you can see kind of the data, and you can also query the data to be able to query like sorting it ascending, descending from some specific parameter and how many rows you want to see. And that is the general workflow. And right now we just saw it on a test data set. Of course, you can also upload your own data sets, and you can actually also, which is not going to be part of this, but there's like a company subscription where you can also connect own data sources like databases or APIs or so on. And just very quickly, just go through, there's also a bunch of editing. So you, of course, should also have these blocks. You can reorder the blocks. You can reorder the items within the blocks. You can change the size of each block. You can also do a bit more specific editing for each of these concepts, like changing the names of the blocks, changing what data they actually point to. For the sales, we could also add like multiple lines for the sales. We can then see them normally normalized. We can change what dimension we actually want to look at. For example, here we ended up getting yeah, that's actually something a bit weird by here, but because we ended up getting group by country and it actually happened twice. That's actually a bug. Let's not look too much about that, but still, it happens, it works, and it allows you to do data. And we could then kind of like fix it. So we can kind of see this is by status. Let's actually just do it by product line. Yeah, this is a bit janky, but you get the point. Again, we can also see these are actually based on our inspired like text prompts. So we asked it to do something, and it decided to do something that was a bit creative. So we got something like this. But let's actually just reload, and some of these might kind of fix themselves, or maybe not. Yeah, I need to look into that. But still, the general sense, we can get these dashboards, we get some overviews, and we can very, very quickly get information. That is the main point, that we're able to actually very quickly get information, see things, and get dashboards. So again, I would very much encourage anyone that thought this might be interesting to actually go try it yourself. And there'll be a link in the description. I can just sign up for free, participate in the study to get quite a bit more usage. Otherwise, you'd be a bit limited. And of course, there are actually also paid plans if you actually find this very useful. But that is very much just a quick showcase of the full process from creating an account to creating your first dashboard. And maybe actually just here at the end, there's also a few extra features like you can build from. So if you have like a template, more or less, had another file, for example, for a different times series or different something, you could re-upload and use the same exact format. You can also create public links and actually get a public link that you can share for that specific dashboard. But that is the general flow of Cleverdash, and it mostly works for now. So I guess if you enjoyed this quick showcase of the full setup, please leave a like and subscribe, and I wish you all a wonderful day.